So we'd start with something called comments. Okay. So what are comments? Okay. See, whenever you're writing a code, there are some lines that doesn't really mean something to the compiler. Okay. So whatever you would write in a comment, compiler will never read them. So a comment is kind of what should I say? That's kind of a line or something to be meant for the programmer only. Okay, it's nothing for the interpreter. Okay, so if you're writing something in this format, so you'd start with a hash symbol like this, and after that, whatever you would write inside it, it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's just a comment that would never be executed. And there are also something like this multi-line comments. I'd just go to the collab after some time and I'll just show all of this. So okay, we are moving to multi-line comments after a little bit time, but for single line comments, it just means something like this. So if you have written something like this here, let's say instead of writing this line, you have just written something like print, and inside that you have just written some hello world thing. Okay, so if you do this, only the hello world would be printed and nothing else would be printed. Let's say I have again written another print statement here, something like print hi or something like that. Okay, so I've written that here, but it doesn't really matter because it's inside a comment. So whenever you start with this hash symbol, after that, in anything you'd be writing is just a comment. So that would be never read by the interpreter. What is interpreter? Okay, maybe this term is new to a lot of you. Interpreter is something that reads all of these codes and executes. So when I run this code, you can see that the hello world is printed below this. Okay, whenever I run this in Google Colab, you'd see that that is being printed below. So who does all of these things? Interpreter. Okay, interpreter reads this code and it understands what the programmer is trying to say, and then it executes the thing. It just writes hello world just below that. Okay, so that's interpreter. So interpreter never reads anything inside the comment. Okay, that was it. We're moving to the next part, that's multi-line comment. So if you are trying to write a comment that spans multiple lines, okay, this is the comment. You can say this is the program to find net salary of an employee based on this all things. This spans 3 lines. So if you want to do the same with the hash symbol, what you need to do is basically you need to draw, you need to write this 3 hash symbols in each of the lines. Okay, but this is a tedious task. Let's say you are writing a comment for, let's say 8-9 lines. It's possible in some cases. So it's definitely not realistic to just do that all by using this hash. Okay, rather there is another way to do that. You can just encapsulate the whole part in this 3 double quotes or 3 single quotes. So if you do something like that, see, this whole part is a comment now. So whatever you write between these two, okay, these symbols actually, I can just select and show you these symbols. Okay, these symbols. So if you're using these symbols, this tells the interpreter to ignore everything in between. Sometimes the compiler will not actually understand this. Those are very special cases. In special cases, these are used as something called doc strings, but we are not going into that detail. Normally, whenever you write something in between these 3 double quotes before and after, that would be considered as a comment. Okay, that can be this kind of single quotes as well. Okay, so these are also called block comments. Okay, so this was all about multi-line comments. So anything you write in form of a comment doesn't execute. Okay, that will never execute. So let's just code this using our Colab. So let's create a notebook. I'm just sharing that in a moment. So let's revisit the comments once again. So you have just write something like print hello world. So this would be executed, right? This would be executed because this is a command. This is not a comment. This is a command. Okay. So whenever you are writing something, you are writing some code, some command, that would be executed. But if that is a comment, it's never executed. Okay. So you can just run this and you can see it is printing hello world. Now let's do one thing. Let's copy this and write it in another cell, followed by another hash, let's say print, it will not be printed, something like this. So if I now run this, you'll see that the same hello world is being printed, right? So this part is never executed. Okay, so in the next part, you see, for multi-line comments, you can just use this thing, hello world. Let's say I just copy and paste this for multiple times. So you can see there are 5 hello worlds now. So if I run this, you can see 5 of them are now being printed. Okay, but let's say I'd just encapsulate some of them inside blocks like this. Okay, now if I run this, let's see what happens. Okay, it's stuck for some reason. I understand what's the case here. Okay, well, let's just remove this. Okay, there's another problem that we have got here. Okay, yeah, this is being printed now, no problem. Let's do something like this, or do something like this. Now here the problem is a bit different. Why it's not acting as a comment? The answer is really simple. See what happens here. It starts with 3 double quotes, and here is another double quote. So a double quote inside makes the problem. So what you can do is you can just encapsulate them into single quotes, and then it would not work. So if I now write something like this, something really random, that should not be executed. Let's see. Okay, now this part is telling something inside a string. This is being executed in this form. Let's see why that is happening. If you just copy this, okay, this is happening, but see, this is not being executed, right? What do you mean by being executed? Executed means that would be being printed or something like that. That is not happening here. So if I just write something like this, print something like 1 plus 2 or something like this, let's see what happens. See, the exact string is now being printed, and this is being printed just because we are in Colab. But normally a Python will never print it. Everything that you would write inside this triple quotes, it would never get printed. It is being printed here, and you can see this is not being printed. What it should print, it should print 3, right? But this is basically printing everything that's inside. That's because it's just ignoring the whole thing. Okay, so if I cut this thing, you would see that it's still being printed. That's just because there is something inside. Okay, I can just try something else. Let's try this. If I again do something like this, let's say print hello world. See, this is being ignored now. Okay, so if I just write okay, let's write hello world here for some more times. Print will not be printed again. Okay, it will not be printed. That's fine. So just run this. You'll see that only the hello world before and the hello world after, they're being printed. Okay, but this thing is not being printed. I know someone can just tell that, okay, it was just printed, sometimes before. Okay, this is happening only because this is the final command you have got. Okay, this is the final command. At the end of the code you have got this, so that's why this is being printed. But if this is not at the end, then it would never be printed. See, this is never being printed. So whenever it's in between, it will never get printed. But only at terminals, this may have some problems. Okay,